What's up? Figured I'd make a video. Not doing much. So. Yeah, I figured just make a video on like the single life, and my experience dating over the past couple years and stuff. I don't know. I'm I don't know. I'm a difficult person to date, I think, but um, not for the typical reasons. Like I'm not. It's not like anger issues or drug addiction or anything like that. I think as a Capricorn, I'm kind of dedicated to my job a lot of the time, and I'm thinking way too far ahead. Um, Always worried about money, you know. Um, but the past couple of years with truck driving, it certainly made it difficult. I was only around, you know, 2 days a week or so. Um, Even when I was home daily, I just wasn't there, especially um, when I was with Prime. Um, I was just so physically exhausted and mentally broken. Um, when I was with Dart, I had moments. Sometimes I only had a 5 or 6 hour workday. Um, Others it was like I'm working 6 days a week, 7 sometimes. Trying to play catch up. Um, but I think for me, like, I haven't really tried to date that much since 2022, really. Um, I lost somebody really close to me that I'd had a relationship with, and I don't know. The 2022 to 2023, that year alone was just pure grieving. You know, anything goes kind of grief. You know, and I didn't really feel like I could connect with anybody. Um, I didn't want to in some ways. Um, it was hard to just keep a job during that time. Uh, just to try and look functional. Um, there wasn't much that made me feel alive or feel good for that year. There were some, I guess highlights would be one way of saying it, but I probably didn't truly enjoy the moments because in the back of my mind I was really grieving this person. And it's still something that hits me a lot of the time. Um, I don't know if it'll ever go away, if I'll ever truly let go of them and the love that I had. I don't know. It's hard to describe. And I don't know if anybody else out there has dealt with or dealing with certain things like that. And I think at times, like, I consider them like a soulmate. I think maybe they considered me a soulmate too at times. But we certainly fought, and maybe we were more like twin flames. I don't know. But we were, regardless, very close with each other and best friends, and saw each other through some really difficult times. Um, and I guess in some ways, like, trying to fall in love with somebody else feels difficult. Um, like I desperately want to. I want to connect with somebody that makes me feel alive, um, that I feel just a deep friendship with, and I can tell anything, won't be judged. And you can have some kind of emotional and physical connection, and all that shit, you know, stuff Michael Bolton sings about. Um, but there is this fear of, like, um, if I move on with somebody else, am I going to forget, this other person? Am I gonna have like a soulmate 2.0? Can you have a second soulmate? I've read that you can. I've heard from people, yeah, it's possible to love again, and all these things. And to feel like they have multiple soulmates. Is that everybody? I don't know. Is it just some people? Maybe. Um, I don't know. And then there's this other half of me that's like, if I don't meet anybody else ever again and fall in love, then I'm kind of okay with it. Um, I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm not lonely and that I don't want somebody to be affectionate with me and stuff, but um, I just kind of feel like, what I had with this person was so strong and so intense that if nothing else comes, then yeah, it, you know, I felt it. I had something real. Um, and some people maybe don't have that level of love and desire with somebody. Um, I don't know. And then I go back to having a moment where I'm like, I'm just so fucking lonely, and I just wish I could call somebody up and be like, hey, let's go to a show, let's have coffee or something. And I've had people that I've sort of had you know relationships with or situationships. I don't know what they you know maybe at times we were close to being a thing. Um, Even after this person passed, I mean, some of them were people that I was with, before. Um, and I think when this person passed away, it definitely put some distance with these other people. Um, Not intentionally, but it just, I was so emotionally walled off that it just, and focused on this person that I hadn't been with for 10, 15 years, but um, it was just that we were still really good friends, and it just was such a difficult time that I just was like, you know, nobody come near me. um, and I'd had people somewhat get close to me. There's been people that I've felt like I could love if I had the chance, and they just, they're not into me that way, I guess. And it sucks. It sucks because it's like you can't really pick and choose who you'd fall for. Um, and I feel like a lot of the times I fall for people who aren't, into me that way. Um, Maybe I was just a person that came along and was attractive enough or had whatever they were looking for at the time, and I was filling some gap, and they were along for the ride, I guess. I don't know, until they got to a better stop. And I don't hate them or anything for it. It's I guess most relationships, we're filling some kind of void or necessity in our lives with the other person, whether it's emotional, physical, financial. You know, I think most human relationships are kind of based on some kind of primitive man-like, um, you know, hunter-gatherer like thing. Um, we're looking for something that somebody that can provide like a child for us, or food if we're hungry, shelter if we're cold. Um, I don't know, but it's been hard. You know, it's been hard because I don't really talk to a lot of people. Just my parents and people at work, but um, I don't. You know, there's not a lot of people I feel like I can just call up and be like, hey, what's up? Like, let's go do something. I've got one or two guy friends that I can kind of do stuff like that with, but um, I don't always feel like I can tell them everything. You know, I've got one or two female friends that I chit chat with here and there, but nobody I can really flirt with. You know, um, and just feel like there's an emotional connection. I mean, sometimes it's like I've had days where I'm like, I just want somebody to hug me, just be like, it fucking sucks. Um, I mean, when my uncle died, I kind of wished I'd had somebody that just was there for me in that moment. Um, and just been like, I don't have anything I can say to really comfort you, but I'm here. I'm just here. You know. And I think that's what sucks about being a guy sometimes. It's like a lot of times we're just out here on our own. And I'm not saying it's not the same for a lot of women. There's probably women out there that it's the same scenario. Like, um, it's lot of people older than me, younger than me. The world is a very lonely place for as many people as there are in it. Um, that's why I try and be as kind of a person as I can and listen and just um, I don't know. I guess you don't know what kind of impact you can have on somebody's lives, um, either until we're dead and gone, and maybe we can see some, you know, like multi-dimensional kind of life review or something, that simply smiling at somebody or saying hello or holding the door, or complimenting them on their shirt, could have changed their life, dramatically. I don't know. Um, or maybe there's really, you know no telling. When it's over, it's done. I don't know. I've got my beliefs, and I struggle with my beliefs day after day. Uh, you know, one minute I think, yeah, okay, there's maybe something. I'll see them again, and the next I'm like, it just the world just feels silent. That there's nothing, and it's hard. Which is like, if there's nothing after, and maybe this is it to find love. Like, maybe I should be desperately running around trying to meet everybody I can and finding love again. Um, I don't know. But I also feel like the person that I lost in 2022, um, they'd probably give me some shit in the afterlife. Be like, yeah, saw you date some other people after me. I thought I was the one, and I was your forever. Be like, look, like, yeah, I mean, I know she'd want me to be happy, um, but I think she would still give me some shit because it's just she was funny like that. But I miss her every day. I don't know. Rambling about being single and stuff. If y'all got any thoughts on this, or kind of what you've been through, let me know.